Another Trump official has testified before impeachment investigators. This time it's an individual who advised Trump specifically on policy pertaining to the European Union and Russia. Now his name is Tim Morrison, and he actually recently stepped down from his position. Morrison, the top Russia and Europe advisor of President Trump's National Security Council, offered House impeachment investigators the most detailed account to date for how Trump tried to use his office to pressure Ukraine to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden. Now, one of the important parts of his testimony was he corroborated the testimony of previous officials who spoke before impeachment investigators. He said that he alerted Taylor, meaning Bill Taylor, to a push by Trump and his deputies to withhold both security aid and a White House visit for the Ukrainian president until Ukraine agreed to investigate the Bidens and interference in the 2016 presidential election. So there it is again, the quid pro quo. It keeps coming up again. You keep seeing more and more Trump officials corroborating and confirming that quid pro quo did in fact take place. Morrison corroborated that he spoke with Taylor at least twice in early September. The first conversation was to alert him that Gordon Sondland, the US ambassador to the European Union, had told the Ukrainians that no US aid would be forthcoming until they announced an investigation into Burisma, a Ukrainian energy company that had hired Biden's son Hunter. So I know this all keeps sounding, like we're repeating ourselves. There's a lot of repetition in this impeachment investigation. And that's actually a good thing because again, you have one official after the next, people who currently work in Trump's administration coming out and talking about the clear quid pro quo that they saw while Trump was trying to carry out this nonsense.
Yes, and it's about 28 in a row that have now said, yeah, all the same thing, yep. He did it in the call, they did it in the meetings, they clearly pressured it. It was about Burisma, it was about Biden. Now, if Trump heard that, he'd be like, outrageous. This Cenk Uygur guy saying 28. It wasn't 28. Only about 4 people have confirmed that I committed a crime. It's
pretty serious.
Only 4. Okay, in fact, almost everyone that heard it thought it was a crime, but it wasn't 28. Okay, yes, that's true. So look, he's in a world of hurt. Everybody who coming in to testify is saying the same exact thing because that's what happened. And then now there's a Republican talking point, and they're all desperate. These are normally the Republicans have a talking point good enough to trick people, right? Like so they'll take the estate tax and they'll go, oh, it's a death tax. I can't believe they're taxing people as they're dying. Right, and so now that's.
I mean, you could tax me as much as you want after I die.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, they're taxing him twice. No, they're actually not taxing Conrad Hilton. They're taxing Paris Hilton, who's getting the money for the first time. Anyway, but at least there's some sort of thing you could hang your hat on. These are terrible talking points. They're like, oh, well, it was just one call. No, it was a number of meetings they're all testifying about. So the ambassadors met with the Ukrainian officials, Pence met with the Ukrainian officials, and in almost all the meetings, they all said the same thing. You gotta give us Biden, otherwise we're not gonna give you the money. Even Judge Napolitano went on Fox News today and he's like, it wasn't just the call. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. It was a series of meetings and then the call, and all saying the same exact thing, help me in my political campaign, otherwise I'm not gonna give you the money that US Congress has said you should have for our national security purposes.
Exactly, so I'm gonna read you 2 other relevant portions of this story, and then I want you to pay close attention to how much they contradict themselves. Because these are statements by Morrison, both are statements by Morrison, but it just, I don't follow his logic here. So Morrison told lawmakers that he spoke with Taylor, again, this is Bill Taylor, again on September 7th to share a quote, sinking feeling about a worrisome conversation between Trump and Gordon Sondland, the person said. Morrison said that during that conversation, Trump said he wasn't seeking a quid pro quo, but went on to insist that Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky had to publicly announce that he was opening investigations of Biden and 2016 election interference. So apparently during this conversation, Trump was said to have said that there was no quid pro quo taking place, even though the actions were clear quid pro quo. So we'll come back to that in just a second, but here's the part that I don't get. Obviously, Tim Morrison sees the quid pro quo. Obviously, this is a problem. It is against the law, right? But according to the Washington Post, Morrison said he did not necessarily view the president's demands as improper or illegal, but rather problematic for US policy in supporting an ally in the region. No, but it's against the law.
Yeah, no, so that's very important there. Morrison's recounting of the facts of the case are very important because he was there. So he confirms what happened. It's the same thing that everybody says. They asked for an investigation of Trump's political opponent, otherwise they won't give him the money. Then he adds something that is totally irrelevant. He says, my legal opinion when no one asked for it is, yeah, it looks like a crime, but I don't want to call it a crime. Okay, duly noted, but that doesn't mean anything. We just need to know what actually happened. You told us what happened. Everyone else can tell that that's a crime because it's in the legal books as a crime.
So I have a question. It's more of a statement actually now that I think about it. How is it possible, it's a rhetorical question. How is it possible for anyone to serve in the executive branch, have these incredibly important positions in government and not know what is and is not illegal?
No, I'm not that surprised by it. Remember, he's already fired anyone that was within a mile of competence. So
that's a good point.
Right, so he's getting down to people who, like some of these folks, to be fair to them, are decorated veterans that have been working in national security for a while because that's their career path. Some of them are ambassadors and they've been diplomats for a long time. But a lot of them, especially at the higher levels, are like his uncle and his cousin and the niece and the dog, because he's just desperately trying to find loyal people. So, and remember, some of the appointments that he made were so comical, they never even went up for a vote. They're like, dude, that's your gardener. And he has like a criminal history.
I pick the best people. Okay, no more of these never Trumpers. And by the way, what I love is that he keeps referring to people who testify against him as never Trumpers. They're people who like serve in his administration.
Who actively said, yes, I will serve under Trump. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.